Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com. This year, 2018, marks the 70th anniversary of the very first Omega Seamaster. Would you believe the watch on my wrist, the 50th anniversary model, is now 20 years old? It's mind-boggling because I can recall those early days of the internet when this watch was an absolute sensation and the 300-meter family as a whole was the star of Omega's lineup. Well, this was a formative piece for Omega, a launch of an all-new dial layout in an anniversary package. This was the birthplace of the broadsword style Omega Seamaster 300 dial. What started with the anniversary GMT became general. Although you'll note the case profile is the classic Bond watch. It's important to note that this is not a dive watch per Omega. Diver appears nowhere in the name of this watch, and you'll even note its case profile is bereft of the typical helium escape valve of the Bond style or 41.5mm Seamaster 300s. Now you can see on my wrist 16 centimeters in circumference. The watch wears easily. I own the 41.5 standard 2531, and this is the kind of watch you can live with in any attire, in any conditions, in any occupation, any sartorial scenario imaginable. It's compact. Despite the automatic dual-time caliber, it's 13.3 millimeters in thickness with a generously sloped bezel and case flank. Lug-to-lug, it's 47.5 millimeters, though the bracelet, which you will recognize as the 5-link bond, makes it broader across the wrist at 52.3. Nevertheless, I endorse this watch even on the bracelet for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. Should you wish to put a strap on it, however, you could probably wear it on a 13.5 centimeter circumference wrist. The lug spacing is 20 millimeters. This 1998 special was built a little bit differently than the standard 300s. As you can see, it features a bidirectional bezel, but that's not the standout feature of this watch. Rather, it's the unusual clasp. The bracelet is familiar. Polished intermediates, 5 links, very supple, somewhat rounded rather than squared off shoulders, dominant satin finish, and on the underside broad channels to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. Nothing different there. Removable links back then in 1998. Pins and sleeves, solid, but perhaps not as easy to size as screws. Rather, it's the clasp. It's the clasp that sets this one apart from the standard diver. It's much lower in profile, and it includes a medallion of real yellow gold. You'll also note that it features an extensible system built in, so for the most part you won't need to use those removable links to size this one. It does feature a single-sided trigger release, so it's not friction fit. It's a high-grade clasp that's perhaps more in the spirit of that original 1948 Seamaster, in that this is a rugged sports watch that can double as a dress watch, and the original was not a sports watch but a dress watch that had markedly more water resistance than its contemporaries and predecessors. You will note that the system creates a very low-profile bracelet by Seamaster 300 standards, very little susceptibility to desk diving. It doesn't pop up and stick its head above the parapet like the standard 300-meter dive clasp does. The end links, absolutely identical to what you get on the standard bond, and the case flanks are similar, although you will note the conspicuous absence of the helium escape valve. It's one less opportunity for the water resistance of your watch to be compromised. The lines are similar, as you have satin sheer flanks, polished bevels, and a robust crown guard structure, and this is one of the most enveloping crown guards you'll encounter. You will note how the hood of the guard has been beautifully polished to match the bevel, and it is a bidirectional rotating GMT styled bezel. You can use this for various timing, although don't use it for timing applications involving diving, but you can use it for various timing applications, or if you were to set that red 24-hour hand, which is independently settable, to Greenwich Mean Time, you could offset from GMT using the bidirectional bezel to find a momentary third time zone per the local GMT offset of your destination port or airport. I mentioned that this was the birth of the Maxi Index broadsword style Seamaster dial, and that is where it started. It started with the GMT, and then it migrated to the standard Diver 300 meter, meaning there will be a lume shot and it will be sensational. Though this was a 1998 watch, it used a Luminova dial. You'll also note a shock of red on the tip of the seconds hand, the 24-hour hand, and the GMT script at 6 o'clock. Still a chronometer. This was the heyday of the Omega Wave style dial, present and correct. It's more subtle than in blue, and you'll note there's a gradient with the channels of the waves being more of a gray or anthracite, and the peaks of the waves being more of a gloss black. You'll note there is a white aperture around the date, and the timepiece is powered by a modified 2892 base. So you have the ability to hack or stop the seconds, and then you have a independent GMT style hour hand. So it's not exactly a 2893, which is the standard dual time modification of the 2892. The 2893 would feature a quick set for the 24-hour hand and then a quick set for the date. This one is driven more like a modern caliber 8900 or 9900 in that you have a time zone function that allows you to drive the date forward or backwards across the international date line and also adjust your time zone as you travel without stopping the watch and affecting its chronometric precision. It is adjusted in 5 positions as a Swiss chronometer, so it's COSC certified. You can see it as the hacking or stop seconds. 21 joules automatic winding. It features unique Omega decoration, so though you won't ever be able to see it underneath this 50-year commemorative caseback, it is actually more extensively finished as well as customized for Omega than you would find on a standard 2892A2 in chronometer spec. Special caseback, you see the hippocampus or seahorse that's emblematic of the Seamaster family. If you wonder why you also see it on Speedmasters, it's because the original Speedmaster of 1957 was technically part of the Seamaster family. 300 meter water resistance. We're going to take a look at the lume shot in just a moment. The caliber being thin, fine, and reasonably long-legged with a 44-hour power reserve, a bit more than the standard 38 to 42 in the segment. You can see and you can purchase this now 20-year-old anniversary special. Ring in the 70th anniversary of the Seamaster the same way we rung in the 50th. Make the GMT yours on the Watchbox. And we're back with the Omega Seamaster 300 meter GMT. The standard bond was effective after dark, but the broadsword maxi dial was downright Chernobyl. Put mobile Chernobyl on your wrist on the Watchbox.